Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and today we're taking a look at a gaming keyboard, a portable gaming keyboard, a low-profile gaming keyboard from Keychron. This is the Keychron K2. It's an RGB keyboard that will work with your PC, your Mac, and all your other gadgets. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now in today's video, we're taking a look at the Keychron K2 RGB keyboard. The version that I have is specifically designed for gaming, but you have multiple options, as we're going to see in a couple seconds. You can have something that's just for general office use, or something that is not for aggressive gaming, office/gaming. The whole point here is that this is a configurable keyboard that you can configure to either work with a Mac, a desktop, a smartphone, an iPad, or for gaming. So let's go ahead and check it out. Now the Keychron K2 version that I have is a 84 key keyboard, as you can see here. It could be used wireless or wired. It has a USB-C angled cable that you can connect to your USB-C device to have it powered, and also not just power it, but also for it to configure or work with your device. It could connect to up to 3 different devices via Bluetooth, so you have function keys that you can go 1, 2, or 3 connected to an iPad, a Mac, or a Windows desktop. You also then have the Mac layout is specifically here, and as we look at the keyboard right here, you notice that I have this one configured for a Mac. Now, don't worry if you're a Windows user, because it does come with extra keys, and these keys are going to give you the ability to switch out those keycaps with Windows specific ones. So you could use it with either a Mac or with Windows. It has RGB. You have 15 plus configurable modes. Different type of, I would say, motions that are taking place, or reactions or actions, as well as solid state colors that you can choose from, going from red to yellow to green to purple, to suit whatever type of, I would say, setup that you want to have. It also then has a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and as we mentioned, a Type-C connection. Now from a connectivity and power, this is what you can expect. 4,000 milliamp hour battery, Bluetooth 5.0, that's going to give you up to 72 hours worth of usage. You also have 2 type of connection modes, either Bluetooth or USB Type-C, Bluetooth 5.1, and in the box you're going to get your keyboard, you're going to get USBC cable, and you're going to get a user manual. Now the keyboard comes with different type of switches. You could either go with a blue switch, you could have a brown switch, or you can have a red switch. It all depends on your use case. If you're going to be doing some gaming, heavy gaming, or light gaming. If you want it to be clicky, if you want to be soft, all depends on what you're looking for. So just make sure you choose the right switch for your use case. Now, as we take a closer look at the keyboard, there's one accessory that I would highly recommend, and I'm going to explain why. So first of all, you'll notice here that I have this little wood wrist rest. This is important to me because the height of the keypad itself is higher than normal keyboards. Let's take a look at it on the side here for a second. Notice how this looks right here, how wide it is. Because this is pretty wide and pretty tall, the height of it is something that if you're doing an extensive amount of typing, and I'll put this over to the side, and you're typing, you have to lift your wrist, because if not, your wrist is going to be like this. See how I'm doing right here? So what I would do is, I like having this wrist support, because then I can place my wrist on it, and I don't have to have that weird angle when I'm typing. So highly recommend having this accessory, which is going to be a wrist rest. Now, as we take a look at the keyboard, a couple things are going on here, and I'll put this in an angle. You have the ability to cycle through several RGB modes just by tapping this button. So you'll notice this is kind of like the wave of colors that is going on. You can have, full white. You also have, by using the arrow keys, you could actually change from each one of these colors to have a solid color if you'd like to have. Like, for example, what you have here is a red color. And you'll just be able to cycle through each one of these. What we'll do is we'll dim the lights so that you can see how each one of those experiences are. Now, while the buttons here you'll notice are iOS specific or Mac specific, what you will be able to do is you'll be able to pop out the button caps and then switch them with Windows if you'd like. You do have a full multimedia keyboard, so you have the ability to increase the brightness, decrease the brightness of the RGB. You could actually turn off the RGB if that's something that you're not into. And you also then have the ability for play, pause, and again, all the media functions that you would expect that are going to work on a Windows machine. It will work on an iOS device. It will work on a Mac as well, so that's pretty great. Now, as we take a look at what's going on here on the side, you notice here that you have your USB-C connection. You also then have a switch that's going to switch between Mac and Windows. And then you have the different modes, Bluetooth mode, off mode, or cable mode, right? So depending on which one you're in, you're going to be able to operate in that mode. On this side here, what you'll notice is that you do have some legs that are going to change the angle of the keyboard, right? I prefer it with that angle with the included wrist support. right? And then overall performance, the clickiness for this is pretty good. So take a listen. So that's the kind of clickiness that you're going to get. If we take a look at it from an angle perspective, you'll see that you really do get a good angle when it comes to typing, but I still highly recommend that you have this specific wrist rest. That's really important. Now, once again, let's go ahead and turn off the lights so that you can see what the actual effects are from the RGB. All right, so now we're in complete darkness, but this is really going to highlight the actual effects that you're going to get from this keyboard. As you take a look at what's going on here, we'll go ahead and switch through each one of the modes. You can see that this is a pretty cool effect. We'll switch to this one. All right. This one, if you type, it kind of lights up. This one does the same. And it comes back to this one. All right, this is pretty nice. This looks pretty sharp for gaming too. I like the red, the breathing, it looks pretty sharp. Yeah. All right. So you get the idea. A lot of different modes. You just have to set the one to your preference. Now, if you want to switch the keys, let me show you how easy it is. It comes with this included tool. All you have to do is just place the tool over the key that you want to remove, just like this, and then you just pull up. And it comes off that easily. You'll notice that I have the red switch version, which was my choice for this because I do some light gaming. And all you got to do is put it back on like that. Here are the keys that it comes with. So if you want to remove those caps and make this a Windows-specific type keyboard, at least from a labeling perspective, you can do that. Now keep in mind that these caps have nothing to do or do not alter in any way the function of the keyboard. So if you'd like to just keep the Windows or the Mac keyboard and use it with a different operating system, that's fine. I actually leave mine as a Mac OS driven device, even though I use it on a Windows machine as well. Now, for those of you who are curious about the included USB-C cable, it's a pretty nice cable. It's braided. It's definitely going to be long enough to connect to your machines. So you'll notice how nice and thick it is right here. And again, this is going to get connected here on the side. It tucks away nicely. And as long as you're able to connect this to your device, you're fine. Now, for those of you who may have a USB-C device, if you're like using a MacBook Pro, you can always use one of those converters that goes from USB-A to USB-C. I've tested it using that mode, and it works fine as well. So that wraps up our review of the Keychron K2 RGB keyboard.